Okay. Hello. Hi. So it usually takes a little bit of time for maybe people to jump on, but I just wanted to go live. This is your first live, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And we are going to learn a little bit about mindfulness and what mindfulness is and how we can be mindful in any moment, right? Any moment, anytime, any place. And I'm here with Dr. Ellen Langer.
Okay, Vera, now you told me I have 2 minutes to explain something I've been working on for 50 years and have written many books about. So I'm not going to be able to do it well in 2 minutes. But
no, it doesn't have to be 2 minutes.
But,
go for it. Whatever,
okay.
as long as it takes. This is different. This is not a reel. This is just.
This is not real. Okay.
No, this is not a reel. This is live. So live is different. Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jerry. I know Jerry's watching right now.
Okay. When people think of mindfulness, they often think of meditation. And meditation is not mindfulness. Mm-hmm. Meditation is a practice you engage in, hopefully to become more mindful. Mm-hmm. And mindfulness, as I study it, is a different way of getting to basically the same place. Mm-hmm. Where...
Hi, Tamika. Say hi, Tamika.
Hi, Tamika.
You gotta say hi, Tamika.
It's not a practice. It's just a way of life that is based on not knowing. And when you know you don't know, you sit up and you pay attention. Mm-hmm. Most people think they know. Mm. And so a way of understanding the opposite, mindlessness, is being frequently in error but rarely in doubt. Mm. So how do you know you don't know? All you need to do is take the things you think you know and ask yourself to notice 2 or 3 new things about it. As soon as you see yourself noticing new things about it, you say, oh, I didn't know it as well as I thought I did. Then your attention naturally goes there. So when I lecture on this, I might start by saying to people, how much is 1 and 1?
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. So, Vera, how much is 1 and 1?
Well, I know this.
Oh, she knows this. But before
could be 1, could be 5.
Okay. No.
Depends if it's clouds or loads of laundry, you know.
Before she knew this, she would answer
I
just
would
the
say,
way...
if I asked
Stop, I'm talking. The way she would answer is the way all of you answer who haven't heard me talk about this. You'd say 1 and 1 is 2, because that's what we're taught. Right. We know it. We no longer think about it.
Right.
And then I would say, well, no, 1 and 1 isn't always 2. If you're adding 1 wad of chewing gum plus 1 wad of chewing gum, 1 plus 1 is 1. You're adding 1 pile of laundry plus 1 pile of laundry, 1 plus 1 is 1, and so on. Okay, so when you see that even the thing we think we know the best, for the longest, we may not know, that helps us appreciate all the uncertainty that's out there. Everything is changing. Everything looks different from different perspectives. So we can't know. And it's okay not to know. Because when we know, we don't know, we pay attention. It's just that simple. So when you are faced with something new, what you do is you actively notice things about it. Then the neurons are firing. And the 45 years of research I've been doing makes clear that this active noticing, which is the way I define mindfulness, is literally and figuratively enlivening. We go to nursing homes. Doesn't matter how old people are. We have them notice more things. They live longer. More important for most of us who are not that old, talking to you, I am that old, is that...
You're not that old.
We can argue about that later. When you are more mindful, you're happy. You're engaged. You know how you sort of envy people who seem to love what they do? This is all they're doing, is actively noticing things about it.
And what is the difference? Because I've studied a lot of meditation and mindfulness in the Eastern perspective with John Kabat-Zinn and UMass Medical Center. Thank you for the hearts, by the way. People are giving you hearts.
Thank you.
Do you feel loved?
I don't know. If I see a heart, if that indicates love, yes. Then I need more of them, because right now there are no hearts, so I don't feel
right.
loved.
So everyone thinks, oh, well, I can't be mindful because I can't meditate, and I don't have time to meditate.
You don't need to meditate.
That's what I'm talking. So what's the
this.
Difference between
meditation is a practice. To meditate, you take yourself out of the world. You sit quietly with your eyes closed. You repeat a mantra, and then things are supposed to happen. With this, you're very much in the world. And so you're noticing. So in looking at the, what's behind us now, I noticed a fan. It's been there for so long. That was a gift from one of my Korean students. I'm thinking maybe I should get rid of it. Maybe I should rearrange, neaten up. So I haven't looked at this bookshelf in forever. So noticing it anew now makes it something interesting to me. We did a study where we had people take activities they hated. Women watching football, people listening to classical music who hate classical music, people listening to rap music. And all we did was have them notice 1, 3, 6 new things about it. Or nothing. We just had them do the activity. The more they noticed, the more they liked what they were doing. The more engaged they were.
So for the layperson out there who says,
the layperson is no different from my students. I'm not saying anything that's hard to understand. Notice, believe, recognize that you don't know. That every day is different, and if you look at the differences, every difference you're noticing is good for your health, is engaging, and
right. I hear you,
keeps
but what
in
do you
the
say to
present.
somebody who is really struggling with an emotion, like anxiety, depression? They're struggling with fear, and it's so hard for them to be in the moment and just notice because their mind,
stress, stress, anxiety.
Oh, and she says, "Hola, noticing equals non-judgmental observation." That's what she's dovetailing on what you already said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you say to people who really struggle with being mindful? What would you tell them?
Well, for one thing, there's a lot that I can tell them. It's hard to get it all in that quickly. But let's say anxiety, stress are mindless. What you're doing to be stressed, you have to say to yourself, something is going to happen, and when it happens, it's going to be awful. Now, we can't know if something is going to happen or not. We think we can predict, but prediction is largely an illusion. So if you simply give yourself 3 reasons it might not happen, then all of a sudden you're less sure it's going to happen, so then you're less stressed. Now's the hard part to say to yourself.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
That's a really great example, because obviously most of you know that I'm sort of in this phase of getting this reading of my scan. It's not a diagnosis. It's a reading of my scan, and then getting the results, right? So your mind can go to so many, you can go to the very negative place and let that, oh no, this is cancer. This is definitely, you can go there, or you can say, well, it could be 3 different things. Maybe it's just inflammation. Maybe it is cancer, and if it is, maybe, we'll deal with it, right?
And so you've taken the hardest one first, but even with cancer, that if you say to yourself...
Hi, Karen. Say hi to Karen.
Hi, Karen. I wish I could see these people.
You see their little pictures there.
Oh, you see, your eyes are better than mine. Oh, there Karen is. Hi, Karen. Okay. That if you say to you, so the first thing you're going to do...
Donna Marie just joined. Say
hi, Donna Marie. When you're stressed, is to ask yourself how you can be so sure this negative thing is going to happen. The next thing is, let's assume it happens. What are 3 advantages of it? And that's a hard one with something like cancer. But, there's data, not from my lab, that when people are given these dread diagnoses, for many people, that's when they first come alive. All of a sudden you realize that, gee, I may not live forever. Right. I want to make the most of the time that I have now. So it's a reminder. But what I tell people, my mother, many, many years ago, had breast cancer that metastasized and found its way in her pancreas.
Okay, now we're back on.
That's the end game. All right. And
Karen said watching on a plane.
Okay. Karen is watching me on the plane?
Yeah.
Okay. Karen, have a good flight. But let's be serious, because I'm telling you,
I'm
my mother
sorry.
has breast cancer.
I'm sorry.
It's metastasized to her pancreas.
Yeah.
The whole medical world said this is the end game. Well, then magically it was gone. It was just gone. And so one can't predict, even with the most dread diagnoses, what's going to happen.
What did she do? Herself?
Well, I think that what I try to do with her is to keep her positive, to keep her forward-looking, rather than in that stress state.
So it just went away?
Yeah, it just went away. And it's not clear. You can't do an experiment with this to know, how or why. But the point here is that even in situations that seem overwhelmingly certain, we don't know what's going to happen.
But
The next thing though,
okay,
Vera,
yeah.
so when you are given this terribly frightening information, you have a choice to make. You know, if somebody when somebody tells me, let's say that they were told they have 3 weeks to live, and they're complaining and, feeling scared and so on, my first statement to them is, well, if that's true, which we can't know because nobody can predict something like this, is this the way you want to spend your last days? Being stressed. For me, if I found out I had a week to live, first thing I'd do is I'd go out and I'd have a hot fudge sundae.
Hi, Mate.
I don't know what I'd do after that. Who is that? We've just said hello.
Monte.
Hi, Monte.
I think she's in Mexico.
Oh, really? Where in Mexico?
I think she's in maybe Puerto Vallarta.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I have a home in Puerto Vallarta.
I know that. That's I met her there, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is an interesting way of getting information out there, mixing the hellos with people possibly dying.
Yeah, she says hi. Mate, are you in Puerto Vallarta? Yes, Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, where does she live in Puerto Vallarta? Where is she?
She wants to know your street, so she's going to go find you.
No, I'm not going to do that. I just want to know, where are you going to go to dinner tonight? There are so many good restaurants there.
Right, she's got a child. She may not be going out to dinner.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
All right, nice to see you. Hasta luego.
But back to the inability to be mindful. It's such, I feel like...
No, everybody has the ability to be mindful.
But people struggle with that because of their own...
No. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you wanted to meditate...
Versailles.
Oh, great. If you're going to try to meditate, that's a whole big production. Being mindful in the way we study it is very simple. You just notice. Now, lots of people say, be in the moment. And that's nice, but it's empty because people don't realize that when they're not in the moment, that they're not in the moment, right?
Hi, Marissa. Hi, Brenda.
All right, so if we have somebody join us next time who can't be in the moment, I can teach them how right in that few seconds slot. This person went to Lao Tzu and said to him, I don't know if this is apocryphal or not, but it's a good story regardless, and said, I am so stressed, I don't know what to do with myself, and I'm told you're the master. And Lao Tzu said, okay, I'm doing something right now, just continue doing what you're doing, and I'll speak to you in a few minutes. And so then he turns his back, and a few minutes later he approaches the person, and he said, just keep doing what you were doing. Because since he knew he would be saved, and it was only minutes away, he was no longer stressed. All right, so the first thing we should do is engage ourselves in something we enjoy. And when you're enjoying it, you're not thinking about the impending disaster.
I want to get to some of the sexy stuff. I want to know, what are some of the physical benefits of mindfulness? Because that's what people want. They want some physical benefits, and
the physical benefits are overwhelming. I mean, there's nothing positive that you can think of that isn't a result of being more mindful. That when you're mindful, you appear more attractive, more charismatic, you seem younger, you're certainly more alert, you seem more authentic, you are more authentic. All of the things that bring people to you. I've studied this for so long, Vera, and it's a lot of years to add a lot of variables, dependent measures, as we call them in research. So I haven't found anything that we've looked at that isn't improved when you're mindful, when you're there.
Is there a book on mindfulness?
Well, who asked this?
Tamika. No, Tamika.
Tamika. I wrote a book called Mindfulness, published over 25 years ago. Dr. Philip Myman did research showing that, he's in analytics, showing that this is the book that started the avalanche. So we have numbers actually showing that. So that was the first book on the topic. Then more recently, a few years ago, I wrote an introduction to the 25-year anniversary edition of that book. After I wrote Mindfulness, the first one, then I wrote The Power of Mindful Learning. So somebody asked me, what's the difference between mindful learning and mindfulness? I said the difference is I had to come up with something different for the publishers. Then the third book was On Becoming an Artist. reinventing yourself through mindful creativity. And that's really about interpersonal mindfulness. Then I wrote Counterclockwise, Mindful Health and the Power of Possibility. And this fall, I'm very happy to announce the first time. Hey, Linda. I have a new book coming out, The Mindful Body, Thinking Our Way.
I'm so excited about that book.
Thinking Our Way to Chronic Health. Everybody talks about chronic illness.
Yes.
I think that there are ways of thinking that can keep us healthy and happy throughout our lives.
She says, I'll look for your books. How
Thank
wonderful.
you.
I am so excited about the mindful body. It just makes so much sense for me going through what I'm going through. I'm so beyond excited. You know what's interesting to me, and we have 2 more minutes. I want to talk about how we're not mindful. And in your research that you've done over the years, she said, I'm going to look for it too, your books. Talk about how we're not mindful. We might think we're mindful.
Most of the time, this is kind of fun. Most of the time we're like robots. And we have expressions like this, the light's on but nobody's home. People can spot it in other people, but you can't notice it in yourself because when you're not there to know you're not there. 45 years of research tells me, and I'm reasonably confident about this, that almost all of us are not there most of the time. Every time you're doing something because you know how to do it, every time you're repeating an action without thinking of how it might be done otherwise, you're being mindless. Everybody's had the experience of you leave the house and you forget your keys, or you forget to lock the car door, or did I turn the oven off? These sorts of things that we often call absent-mindedness. These are examples of mindlessness. You're driving on the highway and you want to get off at exit 27. You look up, you're at exit 36. Where was I for all that time? But even with these experiences, people have no idea that most of us, again, most of the time are not there. And being there is fun.
You know what I love?
No, let me say more. Being there is fun. I know you can, who's a Tamika again. Being there is fun. Being there is easy. And being there is good for us.
Yeah. I just want to say, sorry to interject. I just want to say, the more mindful you are, you realize how you're mindless. That's the fun part.
Yeah, well, what happens when you get to turn around and say, "Oh, wait a second, why did I say that? Why did I do that?
Why did I walk into that room?"
Right,
Hi,
I don't even feel that way
Hi,
anymore.
Ricardo. Say hi, Ricardo.
Hey, Ricardo.
He's in Miami. Florida.
Yeah, well, last time I was and excuse myself, but those things aren't the worst. The things that are the worst are all the stress we experience.
Yeah, so much stress.
All the biases we have. Everything that's wrong is a function of our mindlessness. I've argued that all of our problems.
Say hi to Marcy.
Hi, Marcy. This is a very big statement here. That all of our problems, personal, interpersonal, professional, global, are the direct or indirect effect of our mindlessness. That means, though, they can all be cured.
Wow.
So I'm going to go now.
Let's leave it on that. We'll be back next week, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dr. Langer. You can follow her on her page. I'll link it to this video. And definitely, she has so many amazing books. Please read her books. And she has a book coming out in the fall on the mindful body. It's going to be amazing. Hi, Christina. Yes, thank you for joining us. She's incredible. She's a relic of just.
Should you just say that I'm very old?
No. Just you're a timepiece of history of brilliance, and you should be canonized. Okay. Really, I mean, your information. Seriously. So I want to keep bringing you guys her information, lives, all this kind of fun stuff. She's incredible. Please follow her. Thank you so much, Dr. Langer.